Boris Johnson was sworn in as UK's Prime Minister on Wednesday. Johnson met Queen Elizabeth II at the Buckingham Palace as the monarch officially approved his appointment. In his first speech as the Prime Minister, Johnson promised to walk the talk. He vowed to deliver Brexit by October 31st. Speaking outside 10 Downing Street, Johnson said that he will strike a new deal with the EU. Remember, it was Johnson who led the Brexit campaign in 2016. Meanwhile, the new UK Prime Minister received a rousing welcome from 10 Downing Street staff. Hundreds of demonstrators gathered in London on Wednesday to protest against Britain's newly appointed Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The demonstrators took part in a planned street party in central London before marching to Downing Street. Some of the protesters termed his appointment as dangerous. They doubted if Johnson could be trusted at this crucial time for the United Kingdom. In his first speech as Prime Minister, Johnson promised to leave Britain out of the EU with no IFS or buts. No ifs and buts, and if situation arises without a divorce deal. Theresa May submitted her resignation to Queen Elizabeth II in an emotional final address outside 10 Downing Street. May said that it was her life's greatest honour to serve as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. She also said that Brexit should be an immediate priority for her successor, Boris Johnson. The former UK Prime Minister added that her husband was her greatest supporter. Soon after, May was headed to the Buckingham Palace, where she submitted her resignation to Queen Elizabeth. May is among UK's most short-lived Prime Ministers. Amidst rising tensions in the Persian Gulf, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has said that his government is ready to negotiate the release of the seized British oil tanker, but not if it means they will surrender. His pronouncement came in the wake of reports that the UK has sent a mediator to Iran to negotiate the freeing of the British. London, however, denied that it had sent any mediator. Rouhani further said that Iran is ready for legal and honest negotiations to solve the problem. Meanwhile, Iran's deputy foreign minister has stressed that his country will not allow any disturbance in shipping in the key oil transport waterway. The Japanese government has confirmed that North Korea fired at least 2 short-range ballistic missiles on Thursday from its eastern coast. The missiles flew for about 430 kilometers but did not reach Japan's exclusive economic zone. They neither had an impact on the country's national security. The firing of these missiles has cast doubts over the denuclearization talks between North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and US President Donald Trump. A senior US official said that they were aware of the developments and did not comment any further. The highly anticipated testimony by Robert Mueller took place on Wednesday. Former special counsel Robert Mueller said that his investigation of the Russian interference in 2016 presidential elections did not exonerate Trump. There was, though, little on offer for Trump's opponents. Mueller stuck to confirming facts already stated in his 448-page report. He further declined to endorse any competing conclusions and interpretations from his investigation by any party. Donald Trump reacted after the testimony, saying it was good for the Republican Party and the country. A number of Democratic presidential candidates have raised their concerns over President Donald Trump's campaign. They say that Trump is trying to divide voters with racial rhetoric. Speaking at a national convention, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders described Trump as a racist and a bigot. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren said that it was Trump's strategy to blame all the problems in America on someone who does not look American. Donald Trump has been facing the heat for his comments on 4 congresswomen with different countries of origin. Facebook has been asked to pay a record-breaking $5 billion fine for violating users' privacy in the infamous Cambridge Analytica data scandal case. The social media giant has been told to restructure its approach to privacy. The FTC has listed out major regulations for Facebook to follow that disallows the app from using facial recognition, customers' phone number and usage of third-party apps. The FTC, that is the US Federal Trade Commission, said that Facebook's data policy was deceptive to tens of millions of people who use Facebook's facial recognition tool. Facebook has confirmed that it will pay the $5 billion fine to resolve Federal Trade Commission's investigation of its privacy practices. As a part of the first step under the settlement, Facebook will be ending access to friend data by Microsoft and Sony. Facebook has clarified the data from the website was being used on earlier generation PlayStation and to sync contact information with other devices. Facebook has said, and I quote, "This was our mistake and we are correcting it." Facebook has also said that the settlement will require a fundamental shift in ways that the tech giant approaches their work. Imprisoned Ponzi schemer Bernie Madoff has put forward a plea with President Donald Trump. Madoff has asked the U.S. president to reduce his 150-year-long prison sentence. Former investment advisor and financier Madoff had pleaded guilty in 2009 to cheating investors out of billions of dollars. He's currently serving his sentence in a federal prison in North Carolina. The 81-year-old, however, stopped short of asking for a pardon, just pleading the president to reduce his sentence. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has been arrested by the authorities in a move to prevent major rallies this week. Navalny uploaded a video on his Instagram profile while he was being detained. In the video, he says he was leaving from home to buy flowers on his wife's birthday. Soon after, a police van stationed nearby arrested him. He has been holding protests against corruption in the Russian administration. Muscovites have rallied over the past weeks to demand that opposition candidates should be allowed to take part in the election of the Moscow parliament. Aviation giant Boeing has posted its biggest ever quarterly loss while its flagship 737 MAX jet remains grounded after two fatal crashes. Boeing has reported a loss of nearly $3 billion as its share prices fell by 2%. The company delivered 104 fewer airplanes to its customers in the second quarter as compared to last year. The world's largest plane maker also reported a fresh delay on its 777X wide-body program due to engine problems, pushing the first flight into 2020. Meanwhile, Boeing CEO Dennis Mullins has admitted the aerospace giant could scale back output on the 737 MAX or even temporarily halt production if the grounding is extended much beyond current expectations. While Japan marks the year of Tokyo 2020 Olympics, protesters chanted and marched through downtown Tokyo, urging city officials to cancel the Summer Games. Protesters demanded that Japan should not host a major event like the Olympics until it has fully decommissioned the damaged Fukushima reactor. Experts say that could the decommission of the reactor take decades. One of the organizers of the protest says the Olympics drain public funds and only benefits a small group of people. Hundreds of Paraguayan Catholic faithful paraded through town, covered in chicken feathers, to celebrate their patron saint. According to legends, Saint Francis Solano, a Spanish monk, was visited by birds on his deathbed. The celebration is a multi-generational affair, with many of the costumes being handed down through families who add feathers to them each year. Mexico's El Popo volcano unleashed a powerful explosion on Wednesday. The explosion sent out a massive column of gas and ash at a height of 1,200 meters above the volcano's crater. El Popo is one of the most active volcanoes in Mexico. As per Emergency Services Department, reports have been suggesting that 280 emissions from the volcano have taken place in the last 24 hours. Heavy rains have caused landslides and flooding in Brazil's northeastern region. Authorities have reported deaths of at least 9 people, whereas 6 others are missing. Met departments say that an estimate of 241 millimeters of rains had fallen in the region since Saturday. The floods have forced public institutions and schools to be shut down. Belgium's weather authority issued its first code red warning as the country experienced its hottest ever temperature. The warning was issued when the average maximum temperatures for 3 consecutive days rose to 32 degrees Celsius. Temperatures soared to 39 degrees Celsius, breaking the previous record of 36.6 degrees Celsius with no outdoor bathing area in Brussels. Children were taking advantage of fountains to cool down. Meanwhile, tourists in the city centre rushed to ice cream shops and enjoyed drinks in the shade. Adults and children in Germany headed to beaches, swimming pools and lakes when temperatures exceeded 30 degrees. The people cooled off by eating ice creams, and the beach in the northern city of Rostock was packed with holidaymakers and locals. Temperatures are expected to reach above 40 degrees in many German cities this week. The heat could also bring along storm thunderstorms, especially in west and southwest Germany. The French city of Bordeaux has hit its highest temperature, 41.2 degrees Celsius, breaking a 2003 record of 40.7 degrees. Most of France has been issued with an orange alert, the second highest level warning. The meteorological department has said temperatures in Paris might hit new highs this week. Besides Paris, more than 20 other local regions, mainly in the southern France, have also been placed on heat wave alert. The World Food Programme has assisted more than 275,000 people affected by floods in Bangladesh. The programme has helped with cash and food to meet basic needs of people whose homes and lands have been inundated. 80 to 90% of houses have been submerged, and people have already shifted their houses to the highlands for shelter. To mitigate the impact of the severe flooding, the government of Bangladesh and WFP have activated forecast-based financing project for the first time. The approach uses weather forecasts to trigger early action that can help reduce the destruction.